Welcome to Polymorph Self. In the remote, frozen kingdom of the Winter Elves, Kikathra, our heroes are assigned to the northern frontier region called the Raka. They must complete their national service to get true citizenship by the laws of the ruling noble families. Please visit our site polymorphself.com for character sheets and background information on the game world and to see our house rules.
That subway incident's really fucked you up, hasn't it, Adam?
What a way to jinx a man.
Don't choke.
Are we on?
Over. We are officially on. It has been recording the whole time, and now we are on. It's morning, and the air is crisp and chill. You are on the Raka, the northern frontier of the kingdom. The familiar snow-capped hills and mountains, an endless pine forest abruptly come to a halt, giving way to a flat expanse of plains and moors. The mile-wide Great Kalni River cuts your view of the plains into two, a silver band that reflects the vast cold sky above and snakes back towards its distant source. It passes right by you as it enters the forested valley to the south. Flat-bottomed riverboats, loaded with grain, drift by on their way down to the capital. It's harvest. The dense township of Linake Raka lies in front of you, the riverfront bustling with traffic. Beyond the town lies over 5,000 square miles of frontier farmland, tasked with supplying enough grain for the capital to survive 6 months in a snowbound valley near a frozen bay. The local army captain walks up and down the line of new recruits. Many have never been to the Raka before and are having difficulty concentrating because, just a little behind and to the left of you, is one of the largest man-made structures in the known world, the Great Arch, Surika in Elven. It's a series of jet-black pillars rising up from the water in pairs, supporting a wide-ribbed surface. It spans the distance of a mile and looks to be at least 10 stories high at the center point. You are handed cloaks to wear. One side is mottled green forest camouflage, the other is white for snow. Yours have a sky blue band around the edge of the white side, indicating that you will be officers. The captain, an impatient-looking elf with long hair hanging freely about his shoulders, is now addressing you all as a group. Behind him, beyond the town, you see the tops of the 2 defense towers that sit either side of the river to the north. Like the Surika, they are jet black and said to be forged using magic hundreds of years ago. You focus in time to catch the last words of the briefing. You 4 officers are to report to Captain Corlo at the garrison hall after the noon meal. Okay, everyone starts to disband. The town stretches out in front of you, and it is early morning. This is the first time you have met, and you are now alone with each other for the first time. Go.
Pleased to meet all of you. My name is Bjorn Djerkfjall. What is your name?
My name is Onas Odiri.
I can't help but notice I'm the only human here. Has that been a mistake?
I was just wondering that myself. I came from military school to this. You don't even look like you're an officer.
To be honest, this is my first day. This is my first day in this whole thing. I don't know why I'm here. Who are you, by the way?
Oh, I'm Hjani. I came from the military school. That's all you need to know, really.
It's just one of those one-name names?
Well, it's just more like I don't see why you would be important enough to know my last name.
Look, what are we've got a morning to kill, and I think we should go and find some food, sit down, and just work out what's going on here. I know that I'm destined for officerhood, but I wasn't expecting to be promoted quite so soon. Something's a bit weird about this whole situation.
I agree. I think we could go down, maybe have a drink.
In the morning?
That's how we do it on the plains.
Huh.
A road in front of you leads down to the riverfront.
Well, nothing bad ever happened at docks. Let's go down to the docks.
Yes, let's. First up, wait, human? Your name?
I'm Seyda. I come from the farms. Way out.
Okay, I just asked the name. That's good. Let's head down to the docks.
Let's go down to the docks.
Elves?
Okay, so you walk down the road towards the riverfront. which is basically the entryway to the rest of the city, which stretches off sort of away from the river to the east. So the riverfront area is a massive activity. Everyone here is working, despite the early time. The riverbank is walled and fitted with wooden jetties and ramps. Boat houses, warehouses, and flat carts line the front row, and the area by the water is all paved with stone and cobbles. These strips and squares are littered with barrels, boxes, and grain sacks. The whole district is split into north and south halves by a narrow east-west canal that enters from the river and cuts into the town in a straight line. The Riverside Road diverts around the back of this crowded strip, neatly demarking it into a clear area. And just behind the riverfront is the Lamp District, the kind of downtown red light district too. Okay, so you walk onto the riverfront, everyone is sort of busy and basically ignoring you, rolling barrels around, loading up barges, stretching out and getting into it.
So, has anyone ever been to this town before? Is there anywhere we can go get some breakfast? Something?
I know my way around here. We could go to an interesting part of town if you've never been here before, called the Lamp District.
That sounds nice. Why is it called the Lamp District?
A lot of hotels, a lot of prostitution.
Oh,
Maybe some restaurants.
I'm game.
For the restaurants or the Lamp District?
I like both.
All right, since you guys have just got here, let's go there, see what we can see. Before we go there, are we right now wearing our marcated officer class uniforms?
That is a good question. You're kind of holding them in bundles under your arms, basically.
Okay.
I think we should wait until midday to put
Yes.
this stuff on. I don't think it would go down too well in the...
Will the Lamp District be open now? I don't know how it works in the big city, but where I'm from, those kind of places don't really open till business till the evenings.
The big city never sleeps?
Okay, known in common as the Lamp District. In Elven it's called Valo Kata, which you don't have to remember. It's twice as deep and 3 times as dense as the neighbouring riverfront. The lanes inside are narrow but straight, and all around hang the lamps and lanterns that give the area its name. The inns, stores and public houses are 5 stories tall and closely placed. People look down into the lanes from windows and balconies above. You have to continuously turn your shoulders to get past all the people milling about. Here are the boat crews, the off-duty soldiers, travellers on the road and all that goes with it. The mixed smells of flower petals, incense, oil lamps and cooking food drift all around you, may I add, tantalizingly.
Okay, I suppose big city people do go to the Lamp District all the time.
Hey, it's not just the ladies who are tantalizing around here. Let's eat somewhere. Food.
Well, half-elf, you seem to know this district the best out of any of us. Why don't you take us somewhere?
Spent a bit of time here. There's a place that I know nearby. We can go there.
Okay, so you basically have 3 choices, Bjorn, when you are thinking about places you know. Lavish, upscale, nice places. Mid-level, respectable but not too expensive, that is. And dives, which you personally have a large affinity for. Choose one and I will give you some names.
I choose dive.
You choose dives. Okay, among the dives and flop houses in the Lamp District...
I said dives.
Yeah.
Not flop houses, please.
Same thing.
Still a respectable dive goer.
There's a place called the Canal Street Bar. An inn called the Crimson Vial, which is a drug reference. Because as you know, being local, well, as you all know, there is a special potion that the elven nobility drink in order to not be weak and inbred and corrupted. And it comes from a flower called the blood poppy. It's made into a magic potion. In its raw form, it's just a narcotic, but blessed into a magic potion, it becomes a blood red potion sold in small vials. There's a place called the Crimson Vial. There's a place called the River Rat, of course, the Bridge and Tower, and finally, the interestingly named Polo Polo. Polo being Elvish for snowy owl, which is the kind of sacred bird of the nation. So it's actually called literally Owl Owl. And nobody can remember the origins of the name, but it's called Polo Polo Owl Owl. So there are a few choices for you. Canal Street Inn, the Crimson Vial, the River Rat, the Bridge and Tower, and Polo Polo.
It's all down to you, Bjorn.
It is. Let's go. Let's go to the Polo Polo.
That sounds good. Owl, owl.
You speak the language. I like it. Very good.
Okay, you wander through these sort of like tightly packed lanes, and Bjorn guides you all to Polo Polo, which
me.
from the outside immediately looks like a complete shithole. But the smell of food coming out from it completely like changes your impressions. Doesn't look that sort of busy inside from the outside actually, but the door is open. It's small and cozy with nooks and alcoves and tables for 4 or 5. As you cross the threshold, the barman looks up, a grumpy-looking human, polishing glasses, wiping his hands on his apron, and he says, "Welcome to Polo Polo."
Hey, table for 4, please.
Can we have a nook or an alcove? Let's get somewhere quiet.
Yeah, that'll do. Whatever my friend likes.
You may take that one over there at the back.
I'd like a bowl of polo. I think that would be a good starter to the day.
Actually, I think it's called Polo Polo because it's only rated 2 out of 10 owls.
Oh.
The barkeep stares over at Onas when he jokes about eating a snowy owl, the sacred bird, the aforementioned sacred bird of your nation, and the sort of the patron symbol of his inn. He eyeballs you.
Nah. Let's go to this alcove and sit down, preferably one out of sight of the bar.
Okay, you sit down and he brings you each a bowl of traditional breakfast in these parts, a stew made of wheat, barley, and some kind of unidentified meat.
Not owl. It's
It
not
could
owl.
be. It might be.
I promise.
Okay, so you are sitting in this place. There are a couple of other customers knocking around, groggy sort of people who don't look like the morning agrees with them. And you have until noon to report to wherever you think you might have to report to, which you weren't told.
Well, we're chowing down on this, whatever this meat is. Don't you barbarians usually have a flagon of ale with your breakfast?
I could have a flagon of ale with my breakfast. This stew is delicious.
Well, you know,
Barkeep, flagon of ale for my friend here. My human friend.
I think we should do our best to understand her culture by having a flagon of ale each as well.
We share flagons?
We can have a flagon each.
Let's do it.
I think maybe you guys should share a flagon first.
Is that a challenge?
Interesting. I think
Okay.
we should get 2 flagons each.
The barman smiles, immediately acts without confirmation, and brings 8 flagons of ale across. And
I've got to be at work by noon.
good
Better drink fast then.
fellows.
Half elf.
I am impressed. Good fellows, I am impressed. 8 flagons for breakfast. You know what? The drinks are on the house. You've impressed me. There's some serious drinking going on here. I appreciate that, and I'm at your disposal. Is there anything you'd like to ask of me?
Could I have some owl meat? I'm only joking. I'm sorry about the owl crack I made earlier. I'm more of a peregrine falcon kind of guy. What are we going to ask from Owl?
So, have there been a lot of officers in this area recently?
Yes, we get a lot of army types down here. They like the hustle and bustle and the real good old-fashioned atmosphere in my place.
Tell me something. The army people that come here, do they tend to be repeat customers, or do they just come in once, never again?
Well, not being a citizen or an army man myself, I'm afraid, I don't know. I mean, they come in and out, but they bring information in and out also.
Have there been any interesting rumors coming through the tavern?
About what?
Anything that you think might be interesting to a group of intrepid adventurers?
Well, when I was young, I had a best friend called Bill. And when we grew up, we loved the same girl. And recently they were telling me that Bill had come back to town to steal her off me because she's my wife now.
Oh,
Dear God, human stories.
All right,
You don't like my
news,
story?
What news from the frontiers from these military men?
Well, of course, it is the it is the harvest now, and they are all going out to support the deliveries upriver to the boating stations to do escort duty. And as you know, we have defense castles out here too. Now, I hear the castle on the opposite side of the river, north, where the country meets the great moor called Rossmoor. I have heard that place is nuts and weird, and that all kinds of shenanigans go on there. I'm not sure what. Castles, by the way, in Elven are called Luna, and that place is called Luna Nami. And also, you, Bjorn, and Seyda know that is the most... on the other side of the river, it's sort of remote from all... It's on the other side of a mile-wide river to the farmlands. And it's supposed to be an early watch place for anything that might wander in out from these great moors to the north. So it does have a bit of a reputation as being remote, weird, or people who get stationed there, come back with ghost stories.
And that was in
etc.
Rossmoor, you say?
Yeah, an area called Rossmoor to the north on the west side of the river.
Farther north. Is there one called Rogermoor? I'm just wondering. I don't know the maps that far out.
Who knows what lies beyond Rossmoor?
So is there an officer's HQ or something around these parts?
Of course, that would be the Castellans district. Our mighty Castellan, who is the mayor of this town, and all the garrison houses are right around there. By the way, Bjorn, you know this.
I don't know. I don't know that I do. Well, I do, obviously.
By the way, as a DM, if there's something you guys feel you would know, because it's from your country or your town, just ask me. Would I know where, for example, would I know where soldiers would go to check in like this? Yeah, you can just ask me anytime.
We were just told that, though, right? I'm not forgetting it.
Midday. That's
midday. We know the time.
We've got midday.
I don't know how to arrive at that time.
After the noon meal, so a little.
How long have we been in this tiny dark alcove? Not very
Owl
long.
Cove.
About half a pint,
Owl
I suppose.
Cove.
Owl Cove.
Yeah, time has passed. You are all into your second flagon of liquid breakfast. The soup is finished. You're feeling pretty good. It is, in fact, like cozy and warm and nice in this place. This is a cool dive.
That's why I suggested
sympathize with the barman about Bill. I think what Bill is doing is disgraceful. That's how I've been spending my time.
I wish we could help, but it seems that the problem just solved itself. He couldn't steal the man's wife. It's all
the
fine.
barman comes sauntering over again. I couldn't help but overhearing that you would like to help me with Bill.
Well, we've got like an hour and a half.
Bill
I think we have an hour and a half.
Killing?
I don't think we want to kill Bill.
Bill's
that's the one.
Bill's family name is Botley. Now, I'm illiterate, so I don't know how to spell that. I can only read and write numbers for totting up my bar. But Bill Botley, curse his name. I hear that he's hanging out in the human quarter, for he is also human. And he has returned to town specifically to steal my wife. If you manage to meet him and successfully warn him off, I will reward you with more ale.
I like
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I don't know if we're not going to be sticking around here much longer, are we?
I think if we pass through, we can keep an eye out for Bill.
Yeah. I mean, what are we going to get? A loyalty card to this bar? I mean, that sounds like a bit of
Is
trouble.
the loyalty card Bill's head?
By the way, as you are getting through the second flagon of mead, the bar person comes back over again and puts down a third one, also on the house. You notice this ale is actually quite strong.
Well, we could stick around and have this one, but I think what we should do is we should go to the sign-up and try and get posted to this place with all the crazy stuff going on. I think there'd be some interesting things happening there. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm a writer. I'm working on material for my chronicles of the frontier.
Then stick into the human experience. It might be the flagons
start writing
talking.
about Bill's wife and his adulterous
That's the
situation.
problem with you elves. You think that no one wants to read about human problems. I'm quite interested in Bill and his wife.
We're talking about raw human emotion here.
I want raw human meat being roasted on a spit. That's the kind of thing I want to write
At any
about.
rate, I believe that we would be passing through the human quarter
I
on our
couldn't
way.
help but overhear that you would like a spit roast. It just so happens that if you come back here for the noon meal, we do in fact have a barbecue.
Oh, we got plans for the noon meal. So let's see what we can do.
I was talking about human meat there. Is he having a human spit
Oh,
roast?
that kind of spit roast.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not that kind of establishment, young elf, and you look far too cultured for that kind of nonsense.
It is that kind of part of town, though.
Yeah.
So
This
you would
place-
forgive my
Find it
friend for
somewhere.
thinking so.
I was talking about an actual physical human meat
roast.
spit roast, not anything else. Right, you're putting...
As the barkeep
Things
is
in my
still
mouth.
talking, I must say, Master Elf, that does sound like what you were talking about. And by the way, the Lamp District caters to all genders, all combinations, and all dreams.
what are you
and
suggesting
desires.
about me, sir?
I'm
Just
starting
because
to
I've...
shift slightly this way, away from the weird elf author.
Just because I've had a few beers doesn't mean I'm going to be drawn into your weird human sexual morass of debauchery and disgustingness. I am here to serve the officers above me and to protect this land and to go and see some weird crap at that place we were talking about earlier.
Maybe it's the third beer talking, but I'd be interested in seeing Bill's weird crap.
At that moment, a soldier at the bar, also drinking, slams down his flagon and says, "Here, here."
Yeah, he's on my
That
side.
man agrees with me.
He agrees with me.
I think there's only one way to settle this.
I think so.
Other
Let's have
elf.
another beer.
Arm wrestle.
No, that's not arm wrestle.
The
That's
DM
I
has
think-
a question then. Who is going to start drinking their third flagon of beer?
Oh, I'm starting. I'm on this.
I'm starting as well.
Okay, Onas, what is your fortitude save number on your character sheet?
Okay, my fortitude save number is 2.
2, which means you get a modifier of +2 on the roll.
Yes.
So on a D20, I ask you to beat a difficulty level of 10, but you get +2 to the roll. Go.
Right, here we go. I'm rolling. I've rolled a 6.
+2.
That's 8.
Okay, so across the course of your third flagon,
Hmm.
after this, you're going to have visible smells and signs of being at least tipsy when you go into your briefing later. So you don't have to act it, so to speak, but I'm just letting you know that it's going to be smelt on you or noticeable when you, at noon, enter into your first briefing with your commanding officer. Who else was taking the third one? I think Hjani was pretty vocal about it. Hjani, what's your fortitude save?
My fortitude save is... Oh, where is that on here? Okay. 3.
Okay, go for it.
All right. It's a 16 plus
boy.
3 for a 19, so I'm perfectly
I'll
fine.
drink you under
I
the-
can definitely drink another one of these.
Yeah, Hjani has no side effects and is holding herself together fine.
If these two are drinking theirs, I'm drinking mine too.
Okay.
I have a fortitude save of 5,
Okay,
and that's an 11. That's 16.
no problem. So as the two real fighters hold their ale, Onas is talking and getting a little tipsy.
All I'm saying is this guy's stupid, idiotic problem. I'm not here for this nonsense. I came to adventure to get away from this kind of thing. I just want to go out there, have an adventure, something I can write about, something that's going to make my name known as the great writer that I am.
Shall
and
we
you're not
go?
going to stop me.
Yeah, Barkeep.
Yes.
And you're not going to
You
stop
get him a
me,
coffee
either.
to go, and we'll leave. If we happen across this,
Oh, if we
Bill
happen across
Botley,
your wife that you couldn't keep hold of, then yeah, we'll be sure to tell her that you're doing just fine.
I just met this man, and he's a talky drunk.
We
Yes.
don't know this guy very well. We're
I'm-
sorry.
You-
I'm used to it. I kind of like him.
I like this guy as well. You can
I'm
all
starting
go.
to like humans better because I'm with him.
Yeah.
Okay, you notice that you've been in here an hour and a half, almost like 2 hours, so you'll have to leave shortly if you want to get across town to the Castellan district in time to report for duty.
Let's skedaddle.
Let's get out of the...
Okay, you exit the Polo Inn. On the way out, the soldier once again looks at Onas and gives him a a nod and a knowing look and he gives him the slow nod.
I think
like
you
this
found
place.
someone for your
Slow
human
spit roast?
I like this place. This is good. Let's come back here.
I didn't hear dissent to that suggestion. So, Bjorn, of course, you know several places that can cater to any desires in the Lamp District.
Yeah, sure, but it's not what we're here for right now. Let's get over to the Castellan district.
Correct. Okay, you leave the back of the Lamp District into Market Square, which is exactly what it sounds like, a huge paved square full of market stalls. It's bisected north-south by an east-west canal with bridges over it. Fishing boats have come in the canal and they're offloading directly to the stalls. You go through and out the back of this area, and on the north side of town are army barracks. So now you can see like soldiers marching around, people sort of haplessly dragging their spears, trying to drag their breeches on and get to a lineup. You can see the Castellan's house in a small dirt square, and it's all very military and Spartan around. And there are 3 large buildings, one of which is known to Bjorn and Seyda as the kind of the officers' mess or the sort of reporting for duty type commander's house. But you've never been in there, and you just know it in these vague terms, but you kind of recognize this place. Now, you enter the officers' hall, and you ask for Captain Corlo. You are pointed towards a human woman with short black hair, ranger garb, and a sky blue cloak. Her face is weathered, and her eyes seem almost shiny. Ah, you 4. Good. She pauses, does a double take towards Onas as he tries to hold his expression together, and then continues. I'm assigning you a command. What I need right now are smaller, intelligent squads to take care of unforeseen situations as they come up. I don't really want to know about this. I want you guys to basically hear of or sort of like find your own problem-solving opportunities and just deal with it, okay? Because I've got to get on with protecting the harvest. Now, I'm told you have a good mix of skills, and 2 of you are local. Good. Check in regularly with the quartermaster. He's the one who's going to give you assignments and, check in regularly, keep your ear to the ground around town. The quartermaster, he can also assign you some men and equipment if necessary. Can give you horses, can give you a small contingent. He's who you go to with requests and expenses. He's in the hall just south of this one. But also, whenever you complete a mission or investigate something, you have to go back to the quartermaster's hall and write a proper report detailing everything that happened. He will show you how. That's really, really important. Now, look, I cannot divert any regular troops from the harvest during this time of year. It's vital that you get out there and problem solve. I'll check in on your progress and reports every couple of weeks. Don't let me down. Serve the nation. And she immediately kind of like turns her back and goes back into a bustle of officers and leaves you sort of like standing there.
So wait, we're a crack team. From here out, I am calling us a crack team.
We're a crack team of marriage investigation.
But we have total autonomy just to go out and
Well, let's go and sort that
care
guy's
of
marriage out.
business?
Then, I thought we were going to be given.
However, what we do, does it have to be directly related to the harvest and making sure that
No,
happens, or
there's already people out doing the harvest. The problem is there's not enough people here tending to all the other stuff. We're here to make sure
People stay
that
married.
stuff. People stay married, and provide us with free beer.
It's an institution that is constantly under attack. So let's keep it that union.
I suppose we should go see the quartermaster.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. Get some horses.
And also probably a specific job.
I agree with you.
Yeah, you could do that as well.
Okay.
Of course.
You find the quartermaster in the hall directly south of this one. And this is a really busy hall. There's soldiers, commanders, petitioners, sort of like laymen carrying like sacks of stuff. It's just in and out. This is like a public place, basically. You can see who the quartermaster is, though. He's standing in the middle, directing things, taking on 10, 12, 15 requests at the same time. He's got an army of scribes at tables next to him making these reports and writing stuff down. He just looks hugely busy, but as he sees you come in, he looks at you and waves.
They somehow know us already.
It's nice to be known.
Let's go and introduce ourselves.
I just march straight up to the quartermaster, give a very smart-looking salute, and say hello, Sergeant Hjani, reporting for duty.
Hello, you four must be the new officers. The crack team, correct?
Word gets around.
Good.
This is so great.
First, for God's sake, put your cloaks on. Snow side out. Sky blue trim means officers. Chop, 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 chop. Come on, do it. Of course, you will have to tell me in words that you've done it, says the DM.
Dressed.
I'm all cloaked up.
I'm putting on my cloak.
He gives each of you a small pin to denote second captain rank, and it also acts as a seal to stick in wax.
Okay.
Are we referred to as captain just in general parlance, or do people refer to us as second captain?
Second captain, yes.
All right, second Captain Onas.
Okay, second captain Hanny.
Now, listen, you guys. There's nothing on the boards right now. Well, by the boards, I mean that sometimes I directly have a job that needs doing. But I'm going to give you some sort of like areas which I want you to look out for, okay? Because there's all kinds of things going on around town and everywhere. First of all, oh my god, I am snowed under right now with the illegal trade in blood poppies. As you know, it is a national law that all blood poppies, when they are found, the area must be declared and handed over to national troops to manage. That all collected blood poppies they can be sold for profit, but they must be sold to the city because they all go to the noble houses to be made into magic potions called elixir veri, the elixir. As you know, it is completely illegal to use the poppies in their raw narcotic form or to create the potion by yourselves. All discoveries must be declared, and of course, as you know, there is a huge underground trade in this, which is driving me nuts. We can't find out who these people are. They're finding the blood poppies in the forest. They're not declaring them. They're just grinding them up into non-magical narcotics and selling them everywhere. It's driving me nuts. During the harvest, it's out of control. That's one area. If you get any leads on that, just sort it out. Out-of-town sites, in-town dealers, just sort it out. And by the way, the punishment for hoarding or reselling these things not to a national dealer is death.
Can we carry out that sentence?
No, you have to bring them to the Castellan's Hall for sentencing. Okay. The next thing is petitioners. We've got all kinds of civilians and farmers out there. Oh, by the way, as a DM, Seyda, you're very familiar with this. That there is a petitioners' hall on the north side of Market Square where farmers and civilians can go, and one of the Castellan scribes will hear their claims. And, you know, if there's anything that seems like it needs a crack team, you can always take up one of those claims and check it out.
Yes. Love how that term is catching on.
And we have a code name.
We'll get to your team name in a moment.
Oh, we could name ourselves after the bar.
Number 3, if existing outposts or castles or towers or teams of soldiers request special backup, we'd like you to make yourself available for that too. Which brings us to the final area. I'll call it an area which is forever a thorn in my side. Bloody hell. Flagrant acts of insurrection or disruption in this town of Linake Raka, and upstream in Imise Raka, which, as you know, is a famous human town and part of the riverboat network. We have our look, as you know, on the frontier here, we're not as strict as the capital where the noble families live. We will let people off. We will hear petitions. We all just want to get the work done here. But it's a social contract, isn't it? If anyone takes the piss out of me, the quartermaster, and just goes doing whatever they want in the squares, fighting, killing people, breaking the laws, it's twice as bad to me because we're allowing them to be free with other stuff that they'd get killed on the spot for in the capital. So if anyone's really taking the piss in the streets, just deal with those assholes. I'm getting all in the fluster.
I've got a question going back to the illegal blood poppy trade.
Yes.
The narcotic form. I just think it would be, as someone who's never taken illegal drugs, I wouldn't know what it would smell like or what the attraction would be. I was wondering if maybe to help me understand that, maybe we could be provided with a small sample and perhaps we could then understand,
Trust me, when it's ground up, it smells amazing.
Now, DM interlude. Seyda and Bjorn, who are from here, are aware of its red, dried powder appearance and of its existence. Hjani and Onas come from a suburb near the capital whereby people are publicly executed by the crazy nobles. It's literally, this is the most offensive crime ever to the noble family who are the rules of your nation, is that taking away their supply of this potion, which 50% of the nobility need to sort of combat the effects of their inbreeding and genetic defects. Because the noble families, not all elves, the noble families are really sort of 3,000 years of inbreeding to keep the name and the blood, including incest all the way. So if you come from near the capital or a suburb, this is a really big deal. Not that you particularly care about it yourselves, but you know that people do get punished.
Yeah.
For the other two, you know that about 30% of discoveries get people try it on, don't declare it.
This is why we've never
try to
tried
sell
it.
directly.
We don't know.
Yeah, we exist in a very interesting area where, what we've got here as this lucrative crack team is, well, like I just said, could be very lucrative.
Yeah, there could be, some kind of, we could wet our beaks a little.
Okay, the quartermaster looks at Onas as he's saying this. He goes, now, as for your unusual request just now,
Yes.
it makes a lot of sense to me that in order to identify the stuff, you would have to see some of it. But no.
No, wink, wink. Okay, sir, I get your meaning, sir.
Please don't.
Sir, I
Please
did
don't
not
speak to
wink
the
at you.
quartermaster like that.
Can we?
By the way, you
into
notice
back
that
of the-
Onas is cracking up the scribes behind the quartermaster. When the quartermaster sort of half turns in their direction, they just immediately look down and scribble furiously. When he's not, they just think that the scribes think that Onas is hilarious.
Fellow scribes.
So they're the areas. Let's have one of you read them back to me. Come on, Chop Chop. Haven't got all day. Seyda.
We can go to Blood Poppies. I would like to go to the Petitioner's Hall. We can go check on the outposts, or we can go deal with those dastardly humans.
Insurrectors.
Now, there are no exact specific jobs in those areas I know of right now, but they are the areas I would like you to keep your ear to the ground about.
Guys, this all sounds interesting. We now know where we can go. We have our cloaks on. I could do with some hair of the dog, and maybe we should go and just help that.
No, wait a minute, says the quartermaster. There is one more thing. Did Captain Corlo impress upon you the importance of writing detailed, truthful, and all-encompassing reports?
We got it, yeah.
Now,
yes.
I don't expect you to write them by yourself, but you come back here when you've completed missions, report it, give the details to the scribes. They will write down what you say.
As I am a somewhat of a budding writer and scribe myself, and I did part of the reason I came on this little outing was to gather material, as you know, for my forthcoming memoirs, which are going to be a multi-volume affair.
So you're going to write it all for us,
you're
basically.
volunteering to
That's
write this?
fantastic.
I would be
Okay.
the ideal person
Let's keep it
to
at
write this entire.
Yeah. We
and
all agree.
I
Every
promise you,
single
I
one
will
of us
be.
agree.
I will be firm and
All right.
fair, and I
Oh,
will
for
give
God, you talk a lot for a writer guy.
I suppose.
I'll give a true and honest account of how I work with you, and perhaps lead you in achieving our goals.
How big is this city, anyways?
You notice
People
at
who
this
know.
point the quartermaster has just turned away from your chatter and is just getting on with his life.
Hey, should we get some stuff from
Thank
this
God.
guy?
DM says it's not a prompt to move on. It's just saying that as you've been talking, Onas, the quartermaster has sort of gone, yep, okay. And then he's doing his own thing. And don't forget, you're all wearing snow white cloaks with the officers' pins on them now. You look awesome.
gorgeous.
White is my color. Wait.
I would like to ask you guys, trying to keep it so the quartermaster can't hear. Is it usual to write so much stuff down? Does that always happen?
You can
been
take it as
military
read that
before.
the DM says the quartermaster can now not hear, but you can speak at a normal volume.
He asked us to do that, but there's always poetic license. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We're not writing our reports in haiku.
Back when I was studying, I used to write all my parchments the night before. It's fine. I would do 8,000 rune essays, and I would have them in the next day. It's fine. We don't need to.
I kept a journal, but it was mostly private.
Mostly private.
Well,
I
we're
have a lot of
captains
siblings.
now, private. So let's get to captaining.
But anyways, as I was asking you locals, how big is this town city we're in?
Big.
This is a town on the frontier. For Hjani and Onas, who have seen the capital, the suburbs, and the Midtown region, it looks like a hick town. It only has one or two impressive things to you. The two defense towers to the north of the city, which if you go close and check out, I'll read you a lovely description of them. At the moment, they just look like impossibly tall, square, jet black towers. The unbelievably huge arched bridge, which, by the way, Bjorn, being from here, and Seyda from being from near here, you know that bridge is not really used, actually. It was built about 1,000 years ago. You can use it, you can walk over it, but it's considered sort of a bit decrepit and out of use. The wooden parts and the beams in between these impossibly big magical pillars are sort of rotting, and most people just transport to the side by one of the hundreds of riverboats. But you could walk over it if you wanted to. But no one would bring an army over it or anything like that. But apart from the defense towers and the bridge, the rest of the town is kind of it's very dense and has a lot of people, and it has these water gardens which look nice. But apart from that, it's cabins, it's dark pine woods with some sort of limestone supports. It's kind of pleasant, but for you two, it seems a bit like
shithole.
Yeah, well, you'd say shithole, but it's just not as impressive as what you're used to. Like I said, it has about 10 districts. Each district has a few thousand people living in it, and you could cross a district in about 25, 30 minutes of walking.
Okay, so we could actually just do all of these things on the list in this day.
Hey, shall we just ask the quartermaster if there's any other equipment we can get whilst we're here, and then we'll go and have a look around?
But that's the thing. There is equipment that we
already have,
that we know of, but is this stuff we already have right now? Yeah.
Everything on your character sheet is stuff that you own. For a level 2 character, the amount of gold and money you have is low.
Okay.
You guys are all poorer than average. Not poor, but poorer than average.
That suggests maybe we should ask for some kind of stipend or stipend.
A lot of the scribes sitting at the tables, every time you discuss something like, oh, how would we ask for equipment? They sort of eagerly, very eager beaver, sort of stop for a minute and put on a big grin, hoping you'll talk to them, and then go back to writing when you
Yeah,
finish.
I understand these scribes.
You can talk
These
to
are
them.
men of letters, much as myself. I think I will just sidle over and speak to
a
one of
scribe
these
is
scribes.
beaming at you.
Hello, good scribe.
Hello, Master Elf. How may I help you?
What are you working on there?
I am writing a report about a recent mission into the forest.
I remember when I used to write reports. Quite menial, but it will help you build your writing chops, and then maybe one day you'll be a man of letters such as myself.
Yes, I'm lucky. This report is regarding the legendary best ranger in the forces on the frontier, Hjani Kitu, the Silver Fox.
Ooh.
She is an
Tell me
elven
more.
scout and ranger, famed for being able to cross 400 and more miles of winter forest by herself in a mere matter of days and come back unscathed. She is the legendary best scout, and I have the honor right now of writing up her exploits.
So she was just here giving you the report that you're now
Not
writing.
3 hours earlier, at the crack of dawn.
Where do you think she would be now?
I've no idea.
Are you trying to get us equipment and gold, or are you just talking?
Hey, there's an elf with tracking skills, and she sounds pretty hot.
She is a legendary commander of the scouts in our forces and is very busy, I'd imagine. Now, you asked about how to get equipment. If you come back to this hall with a mission and the details, then the quartermaster will make an assessment of how much you need and how much he is able to give you. So if you have a job and you know what the job is and where you'll be going, come back here and tell us, and we'll assign you some
Wait
things.
1 second. Where do you think this Hjani person might be at this present time?
I really
how long
have
is she
no
going to
idea.
be staying in the city for? Did she say anything? Was she
It's
going
not
anywhere?
a dating service.
No, but
But
she's
good sir,
been out and about. She
Good
might
sir,
know about
she comes
stuff.
and goes like the wind, for she is the Silver Fox. Oh.
Look, you need to work on your wording and your sentence structure, and that was not as evocative as you think it was.
How would you
when-
say it, Master?
Look, it's just not the right. I can't just write. Or it's like blood from a stone. I have to suffer for my art. I can't just give it to you.
Blood
We're
from a stone.
presently suffering for that art.
Blood
Hey,
from
should
a
we go back to the
stone.
bar?
What an eloquent metaphor. I shall remember to use it myself.
Can we leave him here and just go do some jobs?
Yes.
We didn't ask for this.
Afternoon is drawing on.
All right. I say I'm personally interested in seeing the existing outposts, but I did hear someone talk about petitioners.
If we go and find some little easy petitioner. Oh, hang on. Let's ask the quartermaster about this mission
Or
we
we
could do.
can just
Let's
go.
just go. Let's stop bothering the quartermaster.
Yes. Why don't we go and then find a mission and then come back to the quartermaster?
Yeah,
I have
okay.
been
That
to
sounds-
the petitioner's hall.
Yeah.
My dad took us a couple of times when I was little.
What were you petitioning about?
There were wolves.
Typical human problems.
Wolves and bandits.
There's some wolves.
Wolves are literally the bane of anyone who travels outside of a city.
Wolves and bandits.
And
Onas,
bears.
as far as you're concerned, it is a whiny
hybrid
problem.
bandit.
Yeah, it's a
wolves.
whiny problem. Anyway, let's go and look at let's see if there's anyone who's got any wolf problems.
Well, the petitioner's hall is in the human district anyways, right? We might be able to find that
Bill Botley?
Bill person there as well.
The petitioner's hall is north of Market Square, strangely near to the banks and traders guilds. Bjorn knows where it is.
Hey, follow me, guys.
Okay.
Let's go check out some petitioners.
You break out to the north side of town, where the buildings become less and less, and you hit the north road, and you can see quite close up one of the two defense towers, the one on the same side of the river as you. It almost has no doors, no windows, and no features. It's jet black. It's about 2 or 3 times wider than an average, how you'd imagine an average castle tower to be. And it seems to be made of some kind of shiny combination of like dark marble and metal somehow magically fused together. However, halfway up, there is some sort of unseen vent from which occasional puffs of black smoke emit. You know, as characters, that recently, not so long ago as, say, 3 months ago, a small lesser branch of one of the main noble families, the Whiteblade clan, has moved to the Raqqa and took up residence in that tower. And this has become a huge pain in the arse for everyone, because when they're actually around and walking the streets, suddenly everyone feels like they have to act to the letter of the law. But as it turns out, the prince, Callus Whiteblade, doesn't really appear so often. Along the east of the northern road, you also see one of the 4 castles, also jet black, the Luna, which is stationed right next to, one of them's right next to the town. You can see that too. And the buildings break into silos, livestock pens, and grain storage. And just next to the road, you see the petitioner's hall. Looks busy.
Quick, let's enter it before the mage can talk.
Good plan.
Mage.
You enter the petitioner's hall. There is a central raised platform of wood, much like an atrium.